Hey guys, welcome back to Lab Cyber. Hope you're staying safe and well wherever you are. You've read the title of the video, and yes, unfortunately, we have another victim of a cryptocurrency scam. Now, I am on the WashingtonPost.com, and the title says, he believed Apple's App Store was safe. Then a fake app stole his life savings in Bitcoin. And I have to tell you, I've read the entire article, and even though this person has a lot to blame for, I still feel bad for him because losing your entire life savings just like that, it's painful. Okay, the individual's name here is Felipe Cristodolo. He sounds French, I might be mistaken. He wanted to check his Bitcoin balance last month, so he searched the App Store on his iPhone for Trezor. Now, if you don't know Trezor actually manufacture hardware wallets. So if you have cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, Ethereum, you can transfer that cryptocurrency into your hardware wallet. So it's a safer way of storing your cryptocurrency. So he wanted a way to be able to check his balance on Trezor with his phone. So he needed an app to connect his account on Trezor with his phone. So he went to the App Store, searched for the app called Trezor, downloaded it, installed it, and then logged in, and just like that, he lost apparently 17.1 Bitcoin, which at the time was worth $600,000. The app was a fake designed to trick people into thinking it was a legitimate application. Now, I've read the entire article, and I can tell you right now there is a lot of blame to go around, and all three parties involved are partly to blame. Philip is to blame as well, Apple is to blame, and also Trezor. I'll now explain why. But let's start off first of all with Philip, because ultimately he needs to bear the most responsibility right here, because ultimately, even though you can blame people, you can blame circumstances for what happened to you, ultimately you are responsible for whatever happens to you. Now, here's the thing. Felipe or Cristodolo is angrier at Apple than at the thieves themselves. He says Apple marketed the App Store as a safe and trusted place where each app is reviewed before it is allowed in the store. And right there was his biggest mistake. Having implicit, complete trust in the ability of Apple to protect him from cyber criminals. I don't care who the company is, whether it's Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Apple. Of course, they will parade themselves as the best. It's marketing. Apple will tell you that yes, our app store is the best, it's the most secure. That does not mean that you need to have complete trust in them. You still have to perform due diligence. Now, here's the thing. Cristodolo, once a loyal Apple customer, said he no longer admires the company. You see, that's the problem right there. He was a fan. A big fan of Apple, one of those loyal customers who will buy anything that Apple, produces. That's not a bad thing in itself, but when your loyalty makes you blind and stops you from performing due diligence and having complete trust in the company, then it becomes a serious problem. And because of that, right now, he has lost his entire savings. Now, I will explain to you a bit further more reasons why Felipe is to blame, because he made more mistakes. But let's talk about Apple right now. Apple can also be blamed because apparently they are not doing enough to ensure that the App Store is safe and secure for everyone. Now, here's the thing. It says Apple builds its App Store as the world's most trusted marketplace for apps, where every submission is scanned and reviewed. But in fact, it is easy for scammers to circumvent Apple's rules, according to experts. Criminal app developers can break Apple's rules by submitting seemingly innocuous apps for approval and then transforming them into phishing apps that trick people. So here's the thing. If a cyber criminal wanted to get a fake app onto the store to scam people, originally what they will do is that they will create an actual real application, a real app that does something nice. They will submit it for review. Apple will take a look at it and say, okay, it's a good application, you're in. We're going to allow users to download and use your app on our store. Now, the cyber criminals can wait for several months. Let the app get many users, get some good reviews, get some traction, and then they can now change the code and change the way or what their app does. It's as easy as that. Now, I'm saying Apple has a lot to blame for because apparently they're not doing enough. What I believe they should do is, once you've submitted your app for review and it's been accepted, if you were to make any more changes to that application, whether it's the title, the logo, anything at all, the app needs to undergo a second review to ensure that whatever changes that you've made are not the kinds of changes intended to scam people. Apple doesn't do that. And I don't think it's going to be that difficult to implement. There has to be a way how they can implement such things. Also, I went through their process of submitting applications on their website, and apparently there are no background checks. There are no identity checks. I might be mistaken. If you're an app developer or you know for a fact that indeed Apple does perform security checks, please let me know in the comment section below, because I might be mistaken. But from what I can tell, Apple doesn't do things like verify the identity of the developers themselves. So I believe that Apple needs to have like an identity check. If you're going to submit your application to the App Store, they need to perform a background check on you, get your passport details, get any form of identification to ensure that if indeed in the future you try to scam people, they can at least trace you because they know who you are. And of course, you'll be prosecuted. That does not mean that hackers or cybercriminals still won't find ways to, even bypass this, but it will make it more difficult for them to be able to create fake apps, scam people, and then just get away with it. So that's for Apple. But Trezor is also to blame as well, because check this out. Okay, I'm going to show you something very, 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 very interesting. It is right here. I'm trying to look for the paragraph where it says, okay, it's right here. So Trezor, based in the Czech Republic and owned by a company called Satoshi Labs, is a well-known maker of hardware wallets. But Trezor doesn't have a mobile application. They don't have one. Now, that in itself is not a crime, although I think it's kind of weird. You should have an application. Come on, a lot of people use their mobile phones, and a lot of your customers would want to check their accounts on their phone. So they should have an app, but that's not the crime in itself. The crime here is that apparently many Trezor customers don't even know that Trezor doesn't have a mobile application, because Christodoulou, again in the beginning, he went to the App Store searching for an app specifically called Trezor because he believed that Trezor has an app in the App Store. And Christodoulou, he's not the only one. There are other customers who have been fooled as well. Several of them went to the App Store looking specifically for the Trezor app and then ended up getting scammed. So it appears that Trezor isn't doing enough to inform their customers that, hey, look, we don't have an app on the App Store. If you find any app called Trezor on the App Store, know that it's not us. We don't have an app on the App Store. So apparently Trezor isn't doing enough to inform their customers about this, because if they had done so, Felipe and other customers would not have gone to the App Store to search for an app called Trezor. Maybe they were informing their customers. I don't know. Maybe Felipe and the other customers who got scammed, maybe they didn't pay attention. I don't know. But I would think that Trezor isn't doing enough to inform the customers about what's actually happening. Now, Kristina Mazankova, a spokeswoman for Trezor, said the company has been notifying Apple and Google for years about fake apps posing as a Trezor product to scam its customers. So it's been years. Trezor, come on, make your own application. Come on. Trezor has never had a mobile app, though the company is working on one. Really? Okay. She said the process of reporting the apps is painful and that reps of Apple and Google haven't been in contact. So again, right there, Apple, Google, even though they will talk about how safe and secure their stores are, apparently they're not doing enough. They're not doing enough to weed out the bad applications on their store. Now, I'm going to scroll all the way down here because I need to round this up. Okay, here's another story. James Fash, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, a reliability engineer at a paper company who lives in Savannah, also had his cryptocurrency stolen by the fake Trezor app. He says in December, as he saw prices of the digital tokens rising, he purchased $14,000 worth of Ethereum. He wanted to make sure his investment was secure, so he purchased the Trezor Model T hardware, downloaded an app on his iPhone called Trezor. It's not just Felipe. James also, he bought the Trezor hardware, went to the App Store to search for the Trezor app, And Trezor don't even have an application. So the customers don't know. They were not informed by Trezor that look, we don't have an app on the App Store. All right. Let me just calm down here. Just to round this up. Okay. This is back to Christodoulou. That evening, Christodoulou went into the App Store again to look more closely at the reviews. Now, this was after he had installed the fake app and had realized that, hold on a second, he can't find his Bitcoin anymore. So he went to the App Store again to look more closely at the reviews. Before it was removed, the Trezor app had 155 reviews on the App Store for a rating of close to 5 stars. When Christodoulou opened up the written reviews, he read complaints from other people who had been scammed in the same way. Mistake number 2. Christodoulou originally, he looked at the ratings, he saw it was close to 5 stars, but he didn't even bother to read the reviews, and that's again because he had complete trust in Apple. Just imagine if he had taken 10 seconds just to click on one of the reviews and read, he would have seen that there were some customers complaining that, look, this is a scam. That would have changed his mind instantly, but he didn't even bother to read the reviews. That's why whenever you want to install apps on the App Store, wherever, forget about the ratings, okay? Forget about whether it's 4.5 or 5 stars. Read the reviews, because it's very, very easy for people to, to fake the reviews and the stars. They can buy written reviews, because they can have people sign up for different kinds of accounts, download the app, and then leave a positive review. You need to pay attention to the other reviews, the 1 star, 2 stars, the ones that will say things like, okay, this was a scam. And of course, yes, you can have one disgruntled, unreasonable customer who might leave like a very, very bad review. But when there are several of them, then you know something might be up. One other thing he could have done, Felipe, is when he saw these reviews that this is a scam, he could have gone to the Trezor website and contacted them directly right there. There is a support link right here where you can contact Trezor, the developers, and ask them questions. He could have asked them and said, hey, look, I would like to check my balance on my phone. Can you guide me? What apps do you trust? What apps do you recommend on the App Store? He did not do that. He did not do that. That's another problem. That's another mistake that he made. So yeah, that's it. It's very, very unfortunate. Losing $600,000 is a lot of money, and it says he's taking medication and seeing a psychiatrist. It broke me. I'm still not recovered from it, and he still hasn't heard from Apple. Apple doesn't care about you, okay? They don't care about you. They don't care about me. They don't care about anybody. So let that sink in. So again, it's very, very unfortunate that he lost so much money, and like I said, there are many things he could have done differently. Number one, he could have chosen not to trust Apple completely. He could have done more due diligence, read the reviews of the app. He could have contacted Trezor directly, saying, hey, look, I want to check my balance on my phone. Can you guide me? Apple, they're not going to change, okay? These scams will continue to happen, and Apple, they're not going to make things any more secure on their store. And Trezor, I think Trezor really needs to get their app out there. It's been several years now, and Trezor also needs to do a better job of informing their customers that, look, we don't have a mobile application. So that's it. Let me know what your thoughts are. If you have any questions or comments, I'd love to hear from you. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. If you feel this video will be beneficial to anyone that you might know, please share the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time. Cheers.